San Antonio is a crossroads town. You have the confluence of people coming from Mexico. You have the influx of the Czechs, Poles, Germans, Bohemians, Alsatians here. It was a major railroad route, east-west and north-south. So at one time this was the biggest, most metropolitan city in Texas. So you had all of this confluence of cultures that have come together. And I think that's one thing that has made San Antonio a kind of varied music town.
The rich musical heritage of South Texas is translated today by Tex-mex legendary performer Augie Meyers. Teamed with his boyhood friend, the late musical pioneer Doug Sahm, Augie blazed a path with his signature organ sound, cutting across rock and roll, blues, country, and Tejano music with the Sir Douglas Quintet in the 60s, through the Grammy Award-winning Tex-mex supergroup the Texas Tornadoes in the 90s, to his work today as a solo artist.
He's a guy that can go anywhere in just about any scene and fit in. There's a wide range of knowledge coupled with good personality. He's a character.
From the beginning, Doug and Augie were simply passionate young musicians eager to play music that would please the people around them in a city that is more than a melting pot. It's bratwurst and kraut sharing the table with a steaming plate of enchiladas.
I was German and Polish, and Doug was German. Doug was hard-headed German, we always call him. Maybe that had something to do with it, I don't know. But I mean, in this culture, in this area, conjunto music was popular, German music was popular, Czech music was popular.
You didn't have to worry about if you wanted to go to the west side to hear an accordionist or the east side to hear a guitar player. You didn't have to worry that you were going to take your life in your own hands, because people actually got along here. I'm not saying there's paradise, but things worked out a little bit better for the sharing of the cultures.
Well, there was no prejudice or racial stuff back in those days. I had a lot of black friends, I had a lot of Spanish friends. I had very few white friends. I mean, my first band was mostly Spanish people and black people.
Crazy, crazy daisy.
It was into this rich musical culture that rock and roll came storming through in the 1950s, mixing it up with the dance hall music of the times.
And then, of course, you're playing in a commercial dance or a sock hop. You're going to try to take requests so you can get booked back there the next week. So if somebody wanted to hear La Cacahuate and the latest hit, Tutti Frutti, well, okay. We can do it.
Never thought about it. We just did what we were doing.
What they were doing was in line with a legacy started in the 1800s when European immigrants first brought the accordion to South Texas and began mixing it with the Mexican ranchera music of the day. By the 1960s, Doug and Augie had teamed up at the urging of enterprising producer Huey Moe to form the Sir Douglas Quintet, a group passed off briefly in the media as an English rock band.
In Doug, you got a fearless kid that knows a lot of different kind of music. Put him together with Augie and get these other guys with him. So you got a Tex-mex band that pretty much doing what they've always done. It wasn't radical for the times, and then market them. Hey, what's going on? Oh, let them grow their hair long and market them as a British band. It didn't last. Didn't fool anybody for long.
Trini Lopez put the secret out that we were from San Antonio, Texas, on national television.
Really?
He said, "I'm from Dallas, man. I can't lie on national television. These guys ain't from England. They're from Texas." I remember hearing him all say, "Hey, y'all got to talk like Englishmen." And we had 3 Spanish guys in the band and said, "Hey, vato, man, I'm doing the best I can, man,
It was a deceptive look and a heavy backbeat, but the song was all South Texas soul.
Yeah! Red on me, Augie!
Well, look at that. She's About a Mover, the big Sir Douglas Quintet hit. Da 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 da. That's a ranchera. That's a polka, with English lyrics.
From the 60s and into the new millennium, his willingness to meld the tonal flavors of South Texas with blues, country, and rock and roll has taken Augie to performances all over the world, with San Antonio always remaining home base.
With Paul and the band, kids, look! Texas Tornadoes, there they are!
I'm wearing this outfit for a specific reason, because we have a group here, the Texas Tornadoes, and they're sitting in with us for the entire evening, and they are four of the prime proponents of the Tex-Mex sound, each of them a star in his own right.
Now.
Let me start in the front on the left. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Freddie Fender
Freddie,
is
nice
with
to
us
see you. How are you?
on guitar. In the back, on the accordion, the #1 Tex-Mex accordionist in the world, Flaco Jimenez on the accordion.
Flaco Jimenez. Nice to see you. Flaco, how are you?
On the far right in the back, if you can get to him, on the Vox Continental organ. This is the guy who played organ on all the great Tex-Mex records, and you're going to hear some of his stuff later on. It's the great Augie Meyers on the organ.
I thought that might be Augie.
And in the middle of those two, I don't know if you remember a little record called She's About a Mover, a record called Mendocino, a record called When the Rains Came. This is Sir Douglas of the Sir Douglas Quintet, Mr. Doug Sahm, ladies and gentlemen.
Doug, how are you?
Today, Augie remains a successful solo artist and a respected sideman to a host of world-class performers, yet defining the San Antonio sound remains elusive.
I mean,
How do you describe it?
you don't. It's just part of, it's a culture. You know, it's a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And what we learn and put it all together.
Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó?
He's weathered the loss of two of his friends and musical brothers, Doug Sahm and Freddie Fender, but that hasn't stopped his love for playing the music of his life, never knowing where it might take him.
As far as it can go. I don't know, man. I write. I have fun writing. That's what I do. That's what my enjoyment in life is, writing. And if I can get a song out, somebody that says, hey, I liked it, that makes me feel good, you know.
And the South Texas soul, gritty and vibrant, revered yet evolving, keeps playing on.
Thought I was your uno vato. Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó? Please don't leave me de ese modo. Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó?